Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. It's the last show before their next pay-per-view. And you know what's the most telling thing about this show? They're building up this pay-per-view, and, like, I don't care. Like,
you made that
I could
perfectly
sit
clear
here
last week.
I could sit here and go, you know what? This is the last TNA Impact from 20 years ago this week until we're caught up with what we did in 2006. But you know what? Let's watch the pay-per-view. Let's find out if Christian wins a title. I don't care. Like, you know, you remember when Kurt Angle comes in a year and he has that match with Samoa Joe?
Sure.
That show does 60,000 buys. 60,000, okay? That was the all-time record for TNA, okay? 60,000 buys. Look at how when we go over how many people were actually watching the show. There's like 1 million people watching this show, 1 million people watching that show. 60,000 people bought their most watched pay-per-view of all time, okay? AEW, in terms of viewership, does fewer viewers than TNA was doing in 2005. Their shows average 140,000 viewers, okay? So whatever you want to say about AEW, what I can tell you is they do a way better job convincing people to buy pay-per-views than TNA ever did. This show that they're promoting on their TV in front of like 1 million viewers or whatever, you know that show's going to do like 17,000 buys, 18,000 buys. Like, nobody paid for TNA. I totally forgot about this, but we talked about this for years and years and years. Everybody would watch TNA for free, but nobody ever wanted to pay. And I can see why watching the show. I have no desire to watch this pay-per-view. I don't care about Jackie Gata's secret. I don't care if Christian wins the title from Jeff Jarrett. I presume he does, but, like, I don't care. And there's a part of me that figures they're going to do some screwy screw job thing. I mean, like, this whole show. Am I wrong, or did the show open up with a #1 contenders match where the winners are going to get a shot at America's Most Wanted? Did that not happen?
That happened.
And then, like, 10 minutes later, the big angle is for an America's Most Wanted versus Dudley's match?
Yes.
That's not taking place on the pay-per-view?
Correct.
I think they were kind of sticking it to the fans because they voted for Team Canada instead of...
Oh, that's a great promotional tactic.
I'm just saying.
You know, let's tell these fans, fuck you. We don't like what you chose. We asked you to choose, but we didn't like the answer. Instead of just, like, lying about the results on TNAWrestling.com, let's go with the actual results, and then we'll say, fuck you, and do something different. All I know is when the show was over, it's like, I'm supposed to want to see Sanjay and Saban against America's Most Wanted? Even though the whole show was building up a different match? This show sucks. I'm glad we're done.
You know what's amazing?
It's time to take a break.
I reviewed TNA in 2026 this afternoon. It's a much better show than this, but I had many of the same thoughts. Last week's Impact was devoted to building matches that are not taking place on their app special this weekend.
Also, for a go-home show, you just had one match. I think I can name 2 others for this pay-per-view that's airing.
Yeah, and you know, going back to Vinny's point, I was on the show with Lance today, and Lance reminded me, because Lance has to go to work again this week. Yeah. He hasn't gone to work in like 6 months because he had no visa, and there was all this. So now he's actually got to go to work. And, you know, I said, I was going over the TNA lineup, and I said, the show's live, right? And he goes, no, taped. And I said, well, why are you, where are you going? What are you doing? He goes, we have an app special this weekend and then a taping. And I was like, you do? I watch the show every week. I have watched every TNA Impact since this whole thing started. It was news to me that there's an app special this weekend. I was like, what's on it? And then I looked at the lineup, and when I looked at the lineup, I was like, okay, well, I know why that's taken place. I know why that's taken place. I know why that... But then it was like, but I had no idea there was a show. How? Did you know?
Yes.
Okay. What did I miss?
Well, they didn't have any card until about halfway through this week's episode when Daria Ray looks into the camera and says, here are some matches for No Surrender on February 13th.
Maybe they need to say, like, next Saturday or something. Throwing out February 13th, maybe I thought that was like weeks from now.
I think this is a you thing.
It may be.
Yeah.
But, goddamn, if you love this show, you should consider signing up at WrestlingObserver.com. WrestlingObserver.com has every show that we have ever done. Over 15,000 podcasts in the archives, dating back to 2005. Searchable by show, searchable by year. Perhaps the first show you ever watched was 2008 WrestleMania? Well, you can head into the archives and you can find the podcast we did, all built around the 2008 WrestleMania. Every major show, whether it be WWE, AEW, we covered it all. 15,000 archived shows at WrestlingObserver.com. Also, when you subscribe, you get full access to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. There's a new Observer every Friday. And on top of that, we have thousands and thousands of archived issues of the Observer dating back to 1991. So again, WrestleMania 2008, go to the archives, search WrestleMania 2008, read all of the issues surrounding that show. Of course, Wrestling Observer newsletter, 40,000 words of news and information on pro wrestling and mixed martial arts every single week. New issue comes out every Friday. New back issue comes out every Monday. You also get the discussion board. One of the best discussion boards on the internet. It's members only. If you're going to troll, well, you got to pay to troll, and there aren't too many of those. And if you cause too much trouble, you're out of there. So if you want a great place to discuss professional wrestling, it is the board. Also available as a subscriber at WrestlingObserver.com. The whole package, all of the new shows, all of the archived shows, all of the new issues of The Observer, all of the archived editions of the newsletter, all of the past episodes of Wrestling Observer Radio, Wrestling Observer Live, The Bryan Vinny Show, Figure 4 Daily, Filthy 4 Daily, The Board, all of it, just $14.99 per month. The full shebang, and you can save a lot of money getting an annual subscription. A full year, you basically get 2 months free. So check it out, WrestlingObserver.com, everything you'll ever need as a fan of professional wrestling. Check it out today, F4WOnline.com.